Happy Monday and welcome to the Locked On Red Sox podcast. Thank you for making Locked On Red Sox your first listen of every single day. I am your host, Nessens Lauren Willand, and today I am bringing you a very special episode of Locked On Red Sox. I was honored to be joined by Carolina Martinez, the president of the Pedro Martinez Foundation, and yes, the wife of Pedro Martinez. We talk a lot about the foundation, the upcoming gala, which will be held in Boston this coming Friday. So we're going to be talking about that and who they're rooting for in the World Series.
You are Locked On Red Sox, your daily Boston Red Sox podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
I am so excited for this episode of Locked On Red Sox to be joined by the president of the Pedro Martinez Foundation, Carolina Martinez. Her and Pedro do such amazing work with this foundation, have an upcoming gala next weekend. So she's here to tell us all about that. Carolina, thank you so much for taking time to chat with us today.
Oh, absolutely. We want to thank you guys for allowing your mic, your space to promote what we do through the Pedro Martinez Foundation. And yes, this is this time of year that we get so excited because it's our annual gala. And we're just, really thrilled to be able to gather, to hang out with the Boston community again.
Yeah, absolutely. And the foundation, it helps a lot of children and families, both in the Dominican Republic and the United States. Can you just talk about the foundation as a whole and kind of how it really came to be?
Well, it came to be because Pedro and myself, we've really we've been really grateful to God, to the opportunities we have received, and we just want to give back what we have received, which is education, which is people that have believed in us. So when 1998, Pedro decided to put together the Pedro Martinez Foundation. It was a private foundation back then when he was with the Red Sox. And we have been serving kids, teenagers and their communities in the Dominican and the United States for over 2 decades. We basically focus on giving the kids what they need in terms of education, medical drives, mentorship, tutoring, parenting school for the parents, anything that you can think of as that it's called basic needs for the kids. And we do that throughout the year in Boston, in Lawrence, in New York, in the Dominican. So it's a pretty hectic schedule, but we're happy to do it and we're happy to make the kids happy.
It must feel really good and rewarding, especially to be able to give back and to be able to give to kids, to give to families, just to be able to be part of that and see how much that you are able to change families and children's lives.
Yes, it's out of all the things that we've done and we have been allowed to do, this is the part that is most rewarding, especially when you hear the stories, the testimonies of kids that have been getting better, either in their nutrition levels or just better in school, or just have changed their pattern of behavior, or have been able to, enroll in college, something that you don't hear a lot these days. So it's for Pedro, I know it always fills his heart, especially because he remembers that famous story of why he decided to start with the foundation. I don't know if you know it, but when he was a teenager, he actually made the team that was going to represent the country to travel to Puerto Rico. But it was 450 pesos. Back then, it was probably that meant $5 or so. So he couldn't find a sponsor to take him or to cover his travel expenses when he was 13. And he had to stay, and that happened to him back-to-back years. So he just, he promised himself and he promised God if he ever made it to the big leagues and he had a foundation, that any kid that would need that kind of help wouldn't be left behind, because he would be there to sponsor them. So that's basically what we do. And not only in baseball or sports, we do that in anything that has to do with improving the lives of the kids.
I think too, one of my favorite things, I grew up watching Pedro, and it was a lot of fun to watch just his big personality shine on the field and off the field as well. And it just truly seems that he gives his all to whatever he wants to
It
do,
really
whether that's
does.
baseball, the foundation. And now he's able to give back after giving so much to, just to Boston and to baseball. Now he's able to give back. And that just must feel so good for him.
Yeah, we were actually talking about it, and he said it just like you said it last night. He said, I don't know how to give halfway of myself. I give it all. As he's doing now the broadcasting work for MLB and covering the World Series, he's like, I just don't know how to be less intense. If it's foundation, I'm intense. If it's broadcasting, I'm intense. When I used to play, I was intense. So it's funny to hear you say that, because he used exactly those same words. I just give it my all, because that's how I know how to do things. So it's the same thing he has done through the Pedro Martinez Foundation and throughout the years. Just he's really sensitive at heart, and he just doesn't know how to hold, which it's been a blessing, and also has allowed us to see a lot of chances where we can be of blessing to others.
And so some of that blessing is this Pedro Martinez Foundation Gala. It's the 6th annual gala next weekend, November 11th.
Exactly.
Just kind of talk about, the gala itself, and all the funds raised go to the foundation and help support the children's and the families.
Absolutely. We have been celebrating this gala since 2016, and it's been a great surprise to us, a really pleasant surprise. And I say that because a lot of galas are celebrated in Boston around this year. And every time, we give a shout out to the people to buy tickets, to come and support, they do. And that night is a special night where you can see some of the baseball players, active baseball players, retired baseball players that come and support the gala. There's always a part of entertainment that goes with it. And people that have seen what we do through the website and haven't been able to travel over there have an opportunity to hear. We always bring one of our kids from back home, back in the Dominican Republic. They travel, and they always speak that night. So that's the most compelling moment of the night, because you can hear from a girl that started with us when she was 8 or 9, and now she's 20. And there's always that surprise factor there, and it's a really fun night. Pedro, he walks around, he says hi to people, he takes pictures. He's a little all over the place, just like he was when he was in the dugout. So yeah, you can definitely see that's how he is, and I think that's what makes it fun.
Yeah, I mean, you see videos and highlights from the previous galas of him, shaking hands, high-fiving, and taking pictures with the fans. And it must be a very moving moment seeing how many people come out to support the foundation,
Absolutely.
knowing
Yeah.
what it means to you. But what does it mean when, you see one of those children who come to speak, who, like you said, was 8 or 9, now they're 20, and to see them, thriving because of all the work you've been able to do?
Well, that's the part that I have to hold it together, because I always break down, no matter how much they rehearse with me. When the moment comes and they tell their stories, and it's just beautiful to see how maybe a kid that had another destination, or that was going to end up some other place, through the foundation, we were able to establish that path of success. Of just giving him or her a strong push, so she can develop all the talents that she has or he has. And that for us, it's that extra that we always need, especially, towards the end of the year. Pedro has a really hectic travel schedule now, even more so than when he used to play. With all the broadcasting that he's enjoying so much. So it's really refreshing for us to hear when one of our kids, express themselves, when they're able to put together their feelings, their ideas, when you see that, wow, one life was changed, which means one family was changed. So it's a blessing to us.
Our conversation with Carolina Martinez will continue as soon as I tell you about BetOnline. BetOnline.net is your number one source for betting football and the start of the new basketball season. The Boston Celtics are in full swing as we speak. You can find all the latest player developments, team matchup news, podcasts, and in-depth analysis on every single game. And as always, BetOnline remains your continued source for all of your sports wagering information with live betting and up to the minute scores for every sport out there. It's the fastest and the easiest way to check in on all of your favorite games and events, including MLB, MMA, boxing, golf, whatever sport you're into. BetOnline.net has it. Head to their website today or use your mobile device to learn more. That's BetOnline, where the game starts. Also, be sure to check out the Locked On Sports Today podcast. From the games that matter to the biggest stories in sports, you get to go beyond the scoreboard and behind the scenes with local experts and insights that only Locked On can provide. Locked On Sports Today, it's available on the Odyssey app right here on YouTube, wherever you get your podcasts. It really sounds like it. And you have some amazing guests and attendees as well. You have Jason Veritek, Juan Soto, and you just have people, from Boston, past and present, to come support this foundation. Does being able to hold the gala in Boston hold some meaning to you as well, because of how much time, Pedro, and you spent in Boston, and just having the city of Boston and the Red Sox behind you?
Yeah, you know why? Because I don't know how it is in other cities, but we've found and we've seen that um, the Boston community and people in Massachusetts in general, they understand really well what giving back means. For whatever reason they do it, they do it. And every time, like I said, we have been, calling on them either for, relief funds, or some donation to help specific causes or the gala. They're really aware. They have a really sense of awareness of what it means to help, what it means to give, what it means to donate. And that's why it makes it so special to us, because we see familiar faces every time we go, and that says a lot, because some people can make it, one year, for financial reasons or whatever, but we always see the same faces, and these donors, they're committed to what we do, and that speaks volumes of what the Boston heart is, what the Boston fan base for Pedro, what it means to them and what they mean to us.
I was going to ask if you saw, any familiar faces or familiar guests who come every year. And I think, that, you said it speaks volumes to these people and how they're able to donate and show up and really support this foundation. When you see those familiar faces, it must make you feel so good, and just feel like, this, obviously, the work you do is so important, and this just must be like another kind of peg there, like, yep, this is exactly why I do this.
Yeah, because it's not easy to sustain an organization. And when you see this familiar faces, it at least it's telling us that we're doing something right, and that it's compelling, and that it's credible, and that people believe in it just like we do. So we've made it a mission in our lives, Pedro and myself, to be on the forefront of what we do in our institution, just because we want to make sure that every single penny that is raised is going to where it needs to be going to. And it's not, derailing, or it's not being used for something else. And that's why, we've committed ourselves to be the faces of PMF. We have a wonderful team of people that does work here and in the Dominican, but when it comes to us and our commitment, our supervision, and making sure things are being run the right way, that's our commitment.
And when you decided to start, building this gala and starting the foundation to be a gala every year, was there any doubt that it'd be anywhere but Boston?
No, no, we that was our first choice, our first call, and our first go-to. just because those 7 years that Pedro spent there were so special. And we know that, if you know baseball, if your family has been generational um, Red Sox loving relationship with the team, we know what it means when somebody that people develop a love for, an athlete that people develop a love for. We know what it means to stay engaged in the community. So for us, it wasn't something that we needed to think a lot. Boston is definitely home for us, because it was lots of years of relationship, lots of years of excitement and fun, and especially that last year, '04, where they were able to bring the trophy to the city. So I know it's that special group of guys. It's never going to be forgotten.
Yeah, and the Pedro and yourself, they're very important to the city of Boston. Through those years he was here, and still to this day. I'm going to give you the floor now to just kind of, if there's anything else you want to tell people about the foundation, the gala, where they can donate or purchase tickets, or anything else you just really want people to know about the Pedro Martinez Foundation and the Pedro Martinez Foundation Gala as well.
Well, people can visit the website. They can browse around, see what we do. The tickets can be also purchased there, and they still have time. We want to fill that room at the Mandarin Oriental Hotel, and we assure them, we guarantee that it's going to be a non-regrettable, fun night where people are going to just have lots of fun and take lots of pictures, and all for a great cause.
That's great. And I know that people, like I said, they love the Martinez family here in Boston, and they always, when it's donating to a good cause, people will jump out into it. And one more question before I let you go. The Phillies obviously are in the World Series, and Pedro is, doing his TBS and MLB network and his MLB work. Are you guys rooting for the Phillies since he played for the Phillies, or are you just kind of neutral in this position?
Well, when you are part of baseball for so long, you don't really have like a specific team that you go for. Mostly what we do is we enjoy the game. Like, we enjoy the game of baseball, and we have enjoyed this World Series so much because baseball is being played so well. Like, we were watching it last night and we were like, wow, fans cannot complain, because this has been an unbelievable World Series. No hitter. Last night it was a jewel. Like, Justin Verlander was able to get his win. Like, Pedro roots for the old goat, like the veteran pitcher, and it's just, our heart is divided because we want Dusty to win, because we love Dusty so much. But at the same time, like the Phillies, we were part of the Phillies organization. So it's hard to take a position. But what we have for sure is enjoyed just watching this great baseball.
So there's really no lose-lose here for the Martinez family,
Exactly.
which is just always
exactly.
a good sign. Is it different watching the games with Pedro now that he's not pitching anymore?
Oh yeah, it's no pressure.
Which is always a good thing.
Yeah, it's always a good thing. But you know what? When you enjoy the game, you get into it, you do feel the pressure a little bit. Like last night when the Phillies had a couple chances to score and they didn't, it was like, oh man. But it's fun, Pedro, he's always breaking down the game, looking at little needy details and things. So I enjoy that with him.
Yeah, once you're part of the game, you are always part of the game, no matter what happens in the future. But Carolina, thank you so much for coming on, talking about the foundation and the gala. It meant a lot to me. It's going to mean a lot to the listeners, and I'm really excited to see the what comes from this year's gala.
Yes, thank you, Lauren, so much. We love Boston. We love the Red Sox. We love the fans. We love the people, and we're looking forward to next Friday. So that we can all hang out together.
That's great. I'm sure you're going to see a lot more familiar faces. So I'm sure that people have had this date marked on their calendar for quite some time. Thank you for tuning in to today's Locked On Red Sox podcast. A huge, huge thank you to Carolina Martinez for gracing us with her time and letting us know more about the foundation, the gala, and everything in between. I had so much fun speaking with her today. She was an incredible guest, an even better human being. The Martinez family are a bunch of incredible humans. Be sure to check out the foundation website, look up information regarding the gala, see how you can get involved. It is a great foundation and supports an amazing cause. Thank you for making Locked On Red Sox your first listen of every single day. Please rate, review, and subscribe to Locked On Red Sox right here on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast is where you can find us. You'll also find us on Twitter at LO_Red Sox, Jake at Jake Iggy, and me at La Lauren. 3 laws, Lauren with 4 R's. Jake is enjoying a much-deserved, really sunny vacation in Florida. He will be back this week. Hopefully he's bringing the warm weather with him, even though it was a very warm weekend here in New England this weekend. Be sure to check out Locked On Astros, Locked On Phillies. The guys over there are doing such a great job. Keep it up, fellas. It is a great time. Thank you, as always, for making Locked On Red Sox your first listen of every single day. Now check out Locked On Sports Today for your second listen. From the games that matter to the biggest stories in sports, you go beyond the scoreboard. You go behind the scenes with local experts and insight analysis that only Locked On can provide. Locked On Sports Today is available on YouTube, the Odyssey app, wherever you get your podcast. Just like wherever you can find Locked On Red Sox is where you can find Locked On Sports Today. We'll be back throughout the week doing more player reviews. We have some guests lined up that we are so excited about this week. And now that free agency is upon us, we're going to have a lot of news and rumors, hopefully good news. So as we always do, we're going to end the show with a Let's Go Red Sox.